everyone, what's going on? This is Leanne Carmi, and I'm here with two of your other coaches, Steve Lowry and Dustin Bowe. And today we are doing Module 4 of the Jumpstart course, and we're going to talk all about setting up creatives. Dustin's going to talk all about really understanding your audience, excuse me, your audience and your market, and matching the message in your advertising to the audience. In other words, we're going to be talking about copywriting in its different forms. We're going to focus today on banners, text ads. We're also, as a bonus, going to do a little bit of Facebook news feed, which is really big right now. And basically, it's going to be all about the ad copy. Really excited to have Dustin on. I know that some of you might be confused as to why we've put this at a different time today for the live webinar, and we had to do something special to get Dustin on because he is someone that has been doing this stuff for so many years now. He can tell you how many, way beyond what I've been working. He's someone that I've personally learned from. When I started, he was an expert that I looked up to. And so we are just so lucky to have him on today. And yeah, I can't wait to get to the content. So Dustin, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for that nice introduction, Leanne.
Absolutely.
Very nice. So yeah, as Leanne said, we're talking about creatives today. And this is kind of, well, it's obviously a big portion of setting up a campaign, right? You got to have your traffic and you got to have your creatives. If you don't have creatives, the rubber can't meet the road. So it's a really important section. And it's one that a lot of people get tripped up on. It's one that people get scared about. Right? I have to be a world-class copywriter in order for this thing to work right. And that's not necessarily true. And I've got a couple formulas for you guys to make this thing easier and a little bit more approachable. So why don't we just get going here? Get to slide number 1. Well, this is slide number 1. Slide number 2. Okay, what are the problems, right? Creatives and ads are all about connecting with your market or your target demographic and understanding the problems. If you can give them just an inkling that by clicking this ad, you have a potential solution to their problem, you will get the click over the competitor. Right? And that's what this thing is all about. Increasing clicks and doing it in a way that connects with your market so that your clicks are targeted. Right? That's very important. But to do that, you got to understand the market. You hear a lot of people talk about understanding the tribe, getting in the mind of the customer. There's a lot of different catchphrases and industry jargon words for this thing. But it's really not that difficult. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So if we are going to help people solve problems, what does that look like, right? What does that really mean? So I gave a couple examples on the screen. You'll see stopping the dog from barking, finding the best 3D TV, choosing a secure online backup system, quitting smoking. Those are all issues that people are having at a certain point in time. They're on the internet and searching for. Right? So we want to connect with them through our ad, get the click, and send them to an offer to get them to convert. Right? And an offer can be, anything from an opt-in to a purchase to a zip submit, anything like that. The point is that we connected enough to get the visitor to the page we want them to go to. Pretty simple, right? Okay, finding the problems. To understand the psychographics, you hear about demographics a lot, which are the type of people that are visiting your web page, right? Whether they're male, female, Hispanic, Caucasian, Asian, age range. That's the demographics. Psychographics are what these people are thinking, what they're concerned with, what type of affinity do they have to certain websites, certain niches, right? So men that are into fitness a lot of times are also into sports-related websites, right? That's a certain affinity. There's a percentage there of these men that are interested in certain things. These are what's known as psychographics. And a problem, in my opinion, is part of the psychographic issue. So we got to understand what these problems are. First thing I'm going to suggest that you do, number 1, is go to niche-related forums. Oops, I had spelled forum wrong, but you get the idea. Niche-related forums And even market-related forums that have niche subcategories are fine too. The point is you want to get in there to see what people are talking about. And this has been an absolute key to my success in all forms of marketing from the very get-go. Back in the early days, you could go to forums and just enter the conversation with people and drive traffic through signature links. And you can still do that today with a certain degree of success. Not like it was back in the day, but you can still do that. The reason that's successful is because you're not approaching the market from the outside. You're inside. You're talking about the problems. You're engaging with people, offering potential solutions. And from our perspective for this webinar, we're going to go into forums, and you can either join the forum or just look at it from an outsider perspective. That's fine too. The point is, you want to go in there and see what questions people are asking, because the question will tell you what kind of problem they've got. For example, how do I get my dog to stop barking? That's a very common question in dog training forums, right? It's a very common problem people have. So to do that, you're going to go to Google and search for the niche name plus forum. Here's an example, and I'll do it on screen here too. But you could just search dog training plus forum. Let me take a look at what that actually looks like online. So here I am actually searching. Oops. Okay, so we've got dog training plus forum. See how I entered that? You want that plus sign in there. Was somebody saying something just now? Heard some background noise. I didn't know if there was a question. Okay. Carrying on. Dog training plus forum. Here are the results. Okay, the first one, dog forums. Perfect. We're just going to go in there, open it up, see what's going on. Okay, so this brings us to a specific subcategory, dog training forum inside the dog forum. Okay, and you can see here what people are talking about from the title of the thread. All right, some low-cost downloads for Ian Dunbar. Ian Dunbar is a very popular dog trainer. Recommend dog trainers. Okay, so that's a problem right there. The people that are interested in dog training are also interested in good dog trainers. And that could mean, let's see what they're talking about. That could mean dog trainers that they could buy products from or actually hire. Yeah. Positive dog trainer, click trainers who want better results. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So it looks like these are specific trainers that may or may not have information products you can download. Right? But this is helping us understand the market a little bit more. Right? So what this told me right here is that there's a certain subsection of the niche that are interested in positive dog trainers or click trainers. Right? And that's a little piece of gold that can be included in an advertisement that you use. So what I'm going to do is just create a little text file here. Oops. And call it dog training. All right? We could put in psychographics. And we just want to talk, or we just want to mark down what we're finding here. Okay. So right now we're just pure research mode, trying to get in the mind of the customer a little bit better. We're going to go through the forum and find more of that kind of stuff. Okay. Dogs push other dogs away to get attention. That's interesting. Right? So all these things are telling us who these people are. Right? These are problems that they're having, problems that we may be able to solve with products that we're promoting. Right? dogs who push other dogs away to get attention, that may be something that somebody says in copywriting somewhere for a product that their product helps you solve. Who knows? Right? It's something that we could at least make a note of for later on. Okay, so let's go back to, I don't want to spend too much time on that, and take a look at some of the other things we got going on here. Yahoo Answers. I'll just click the link here. Yahoo Answers is one of my favorite places to go to do psychographic research, because this is a database of questions. That's all it is questions. It's just a different way that people interact to get solutions to their problems, right? So a forum, there's casual conversations, and there are people asking questions, but the whole thing isn't dedicated to questions. That's what Yahoo Answers is. Let's search answers here. Okay, what are the best dog training websites? Awesome. How to start your own dog training business. Okay, so that's actually a sub-niche of the dog training niche. How to start your own dog training business. What's the best age to take a puppy on dog training courses? This is just pure gold, right? This tells you exactly what people need to know. And depending on the product that you're promoting, this could end up being something that your ad is a direct result from. Right? Your ad reflects this particular problem. It really depends on the product, but at least you know that it's a problem that people have, right? If you didn't do this research, you wouldn't know that. You wouldn't be able to reflect that in your advertisement. So let's go back here. And the third one is Quora. I'm not going to show you Quora. You can check that out yourself. It's very similar to Yahoo Answers. The difference is that Quora is, everybody pronounces that a little bit different, but the big difference is that this is a site that you have to sign up for. Right? You have to enter your name and email address and actually get permission to go in there. I like Quora a lot, especially for this kind of research, because it's similar to Yahoo Answers where people are asking questions, but a lot of times the debate in there is much more spirited, it's much more heated, and you're going to find a lot more responses to people's questions. So if somebody says, well, who's the best positive training dog trainer? There's going to be a lot more responses than what you would see in Yahoo Answers. And there's quite a few in Yahoo Answers as well, but the responses are there's more volume of it, and they're a lot more detailed. And you'll see that when you check out Quora. Right? But these are the three biggest tools you can use to find people's problems. Okay? All right, so the first section was psychographics. The second section here is the demographics. And I know you guys talked about this a little bit with Russell and everybody the other night. So I'm not going to rehash it too much. I just want to point out some of the really cool tools that you can use to find this stuff. Right, because this is going to be really helpful, especially when you're doing image-based ads like banner ads and newsfeed ads and PPV ads, anything where you're going to have an image in the ad. You absolutely want to use the demographics for your niche. If you find a particular niche like dog training attracts women, Caucasian women between the ages of 30 and 50, more than any other demographic, you want to use an image of that person in the ad. It's just a connection. You want to make that connection with people.
Let me interject here for a second, because I just want to stress how important this stuff is. For those of you watching the webinar right now, I mean, just like when we talked about keyword research and market research, this type of thing, finding your demographic and making the ad appropriate, not only to where you're advertising, but to the person that you're advertising to. These are the things that make or break a campaign. So for anyone who's ever, tried setting up a campaign and it failed, and you're like, well, what happened? This is the stuff that does it right here. This is where you get your data, and this is how you can get appropriately creative, and this is how you have success sooner than later with your campaigns, is by doing this research and doing this upfront work. After that, it's easy, right? After that, it's just optimizing. That's easy. You have data, you optimize, and we'll show you that. But this part right here, what we showed you last week and what we're showing you this week, this is gold right here. This is the stuff you want to practice. This is the stuff you want to get. So I just wanted to make that point. And on a side note, for those of you here live, ask questions. You've got a question box. Ask questions, make comments, interact with us. You're here live, and do that. And if you're watching the recording, then put questions in the thread. Interact with us, because that's what we're here for. So I just wanted to interject that, and keep going, Dustin, because this is great stuff.
Sure. Okay, so absolutely, I'm not trying to downplay the importance of this stuff by any stretch of the imagination. Like Leanne said, this is what separates the pros from the wannabes. Okay, the pros understand that when they know their market and they connect with their market, they get the click. And usually, not usually, but sometimes they get the conversion, right? If we always got the conversion, we'd all be millionaires, right? Every day of the week. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's extremely important to understand this before you create your ad. Right? It's going to do a lot for you in the long run. So demographics, tools you can use, QuantCast, you guys saw that. That's a very popular one. That's the first one that everybody says. It's been around a while. It's a very established site. I love QuantCast, but you'll see I've got a couple nitpicks about it. It's not always available for every site. And that's okay, because a lot of times you can find other sites to use instead of that site that will have data, right? But it is a little bit annoying sometimes. It's not always accurate either, and no tool is. I'm not trying to pick QuantCast out, but there are other ways to find demographics, not so popular ways that are very effective. So the second one is the Plenty of Fish demographics tool. This is a really cool tool. It's got a ton of data when you search a niche. And let me just grab this URL here. Oops. For some reason, that URL is not active, so I'm going to have to go to it separately. It's called the POF interest tool. Demographic interests. Okay. The problem with this tool, like I had nitpicks with QuantCast, we've got nitpicks with this tool, is that it doesn't always work. Okay. Plenty of Fish is a very popular site, so they've got a ton of demographics on all their members. That's why it's a very valuable tool. But I've got to be honest, it doesn't work 100% of the time. So if it doesn't work right now, I apologize. But when it does, there is just an absolute cornucopia of data, demographic data here. And what you're going to see if this comes up with results is that niches don't always have one demographic. There's going to be one that is most dominant, but there are multiple demographics for every niche. And you're going to want to test those demographics. So, for example, dog training, like I said, 30 to 50, yeah, here, in server error. See, I don't know what's going on with this. It was working just last week when I tried it. It didn't work for me last night either, so I'm not sure what's going on with this, but this typically works. Give it a shot. It's another great place to get demographics. And like I said, you'll see that there are multiple types. There's multiple sets of demographics. So you may find, women 30 to 50, but the next closest dominant demographic are men, ages, 25 to 40. Oh, here we go, Christian dating. Gender, male, 150%. Age, 25 to 34. It makes sense, right? People looking for somebody to date in order to get married. It's sort of a marriage type of age. Less than 25,000 on income. That's interesting. Now again, these. Oh man, they changed this. There used to be a lot more data here. I wonder if they're having server problems, and that's why it doesn't have all the data. But as you can see, you got a great overview here. Okay, and what you can do then is take this and compare it to the QuantCast data that you come up with, right? And you might find that they're actually different. And QuantCast will show you that second range of demographics as well. But this is good data, and especially in a dating type of niche, because this is a dating site, so you're going to get a lot of those type of people here. And when they sign up, they enter all kinds of information. So this information, especially for dating niches, I tend to trust. Okay, so there's plenty of fish. And the last one is Facebook groups and pages. Now, I'm not going to go to Facebook right now. You guys can do this on your own. When you're logged into Facebook, all you have to do is enter your niche, the main keyword phrase for your niche, in the search bar. So Christian dating, fitness, weight loss, and it's going to bring up pages and groups that are related to that topic. What I love about this is that it's very similar to forums, with the exception that you not only get to see people's conversations, you get to see people's pictures too. And there's a link to their profile. So you can do a little bit of snooping here, right? Now, nothing illegal or nothing morally incorrect, right? We're just kind of snooping around, taking a look at the type of people that are talking in these niches. And the more you do it, the more you can find more psychographic type questions that they're asking, but you can find sort of sort of a continuity of the type of people, right? The problem with this is that it's not scientific. It's just you kind of searching around Facebook. But it is you inside the market getting a good feel for what's going on. It's a real-world exposure to the niche with pictures and profile snooping. Right? So that's one not a lot of people talk about, but it's right there at everybody's fingertips. So those are my demographic tools. You want to use a combination of all three of these, okay? Use QuantCast, use POF, and use Facebook. Put all your notes into a niche or into a text file and see what you come up with, okay? What you're going to end up with is a lot of data, but you're going to be able to verify that data between your sources. Okay, so I know Christian dating is a lot of men between 25 and 34, I think, were the ages. Are those the guys that I'm seeing in the Facebook groups and pages? Most likely it is. It's possible. And, when you search Christian dating, I'm not sure exactly you're going to see groups for Christian dating, but in Facebook, I'd have to test that out. But you're going to have to play with it, and maybe you'll come up with related groups to Christian dating. Right? Facebook is not, like I said, it's not scientific. It's more a mixture of art than science. So those are the demographic tools. Play with those. This can turn into something fun. It seems kind of boring at first. At least I used to think it was boring before I realized how powerful this stuff was, how important it was. When you understand this stuff, though, you're able to do this, which is extremely important. I mentioned it earlier. Using your demographics and images. You want to create a message match with your advertisements. Right? And what that means is your advertisement directly connects to the type of people you're looking for, the type of people that you are targeting to get to a certain offer. Right? So I've got an example here. This is a newsfeed ad I took a picture of, obviously, on my phone. So it's a mobile newsfeed ad. I've seen this on the web as well, and it looks exactly the same. This is a fantastic advertisement, and mainly because the picture is so drastic, so good. But look at what they're advertising: bigger, faster, stronger. 30 days to a six-pack. Right? They know exactly who their target market is for this. It's guys, and I'm guessing guys between the ages of 18 and 35. Right? So what they do is they take a picture of a somewhat average-looking dude, and then that guy completely ripped. It's a very striking difference we've got here, right? And that's exactly what this target market wants to see, right? And most likely this is the target demographic or the main demographic, right? Caucasian guy between the age range that I just said. It looks like he's in his early 20s there.
So, Dustin, just a really good question in the queue here. Do you generally use only the seed keyword for data gathering, or do you use various keyword phrases as well?
Typically, I'm using the seed keyword because that's going to bring up the largest number of results, and you can kind of wade through those results and get enough data. Because if you're searching for dog training plus forum, you're just going to get so much more than if you search for, positive dog training with clickers. Right? That'll come up too, and a lot of other things, I'm sure, because I'm somewhat familiar with the niche. But I think you're going to have a lot of overlapping data when you use the broad keywords. If you don't have enough data, yeah, absolutely use other keyword phrases. And what's enough data? Well, to me, enough data is being able to compare demographics and questions, psychographics, between multiple sources. So I see that somebody has the same question on Yahoo Answers as they did on Quora. That's a positive match for me right there. That's a, I make that bold in my text file, or I put a star next to it. I don't think you can actually do it bold in your text file, but put a star next to it, something to indicate that this is a positive match. I see this in multiple places, right? You see it in a forum, you see it on Yahoo Answers, you see it on Quora, you see it on Facebook. That is a 1,000% match. Okay, this is a very common question for your niche. It's something that you want to be able to address in your copy. And for fitness, the ultimate goal for a guy is a six-pack. Six-pack abs, for sure. It's the most common goal for guys interested in fitness. So this is a newsfeed ad. You got, bigger, faster, stronger. That's the offer, so to speak. And then what makes their offer so great is that it's 30 days to a six-pack. And then you got the image there. It just hits home with the target market. It's a perfect message match. Okay, so ad spy tools. We've got our demographics, we've got our psychographics, we've got a good idea of who we're advertising to. The next step is to actually create the ads. Now, depending on the ad type that you're going to be using, whether it's PPC or banner or mobile or newsfeed, these tools may not be the right kind of tool for you, right? So these tools here that I'm showing are mainly banner and text-based ads. What Runs Where has a lot of mobile data. AdBeat's starting to add that in, I think. So these are good tools for your major ad types. And what you're going to get out of these sites, first of all, let me tell you that AdBeat and What Runs Where are both fairly expensive. AdBeat is something like $250 a month, right? So this is a very high-level tool. What Runs Where has a cheaper option, something like $30 a month, but doesn't give you access to the whole thing. It's just a certain portion of it, which is still pretty good if you want to take a look at what ads are working in your market. Before you start creating your creatives, you want to see what everybody else is doing, right? And you want to ask yourself, okay, here are the ads that have been running for the last 60 days for dog training. Do these ads match up with what you found for psychographics and demographics? If yes, then you can go ahead and use them as a swipe file kind of ad. You don't want to swipe the whole thing word for word, picture for picture. That's not what we do. There's people out there that do that, but they don't get the results that they want, right? In order to get the results that you want, you need to create your own ads. Okay? And if you don't create your own ads, you're never actually improving, right? You're just kind of floating, right? And you'll sort of be a mediocre to a non-successful affiliate the rest of your life, and that's not what anybody wants. Okay? So the point is, these sites give you a way to speed up your ad creation process. You get to see what other people are using successfully and whether or not that matches up to your research, and use that as a starting point. create ads based on the data that you find at these places. Moat is, the third one here, Moat is a free banner spy tool. It's pretty cool. Here, why don't I show it to you? Get a feeling for what's going on here. Oops. Okay. So this is strictly for banners, you know, display media, in other words. But it will help you in your research kind of get a feeling for what people are using on their ads. Okay. So why don't I just show you, you can search by brand, you can search by keyword as well, which they don't tell you here, and you can search by URL. Okay. Little tips there for using Moat. But why don't we search UPS first, see what they've got going on. Okay. These are all, we've got 443 ads for UPS. And we can see what kind of ads they're using here. This is pretty cool. All right, so we've got the big square ads, the skyscraper ads, 728 by 90 ads. Okay, so last seen on September 11th, and they give you a couple examples of URLs it was seen on. This is pretty good stuff, right? This is nice intelligence for free. I actually like the style of some of these ads. They're kind of like these, very simple. I'm going to give you tips on how to create good banner ads in just a second. But I wanted you guys to see this free tool here. Another way to search this is, can't remember. Yeah, okay. So the keyword for truth about ads doesn't work, but I think the URL does. I was trying to find ads for the truth about abs, which is a very commonly promoted ClickBank product, and it converts very, very well in the weight loss niche. And their ads are always very unique, in my opinion. They've got some crazy looking ads. So you can see this ad here. It shows some muscles and just, oops. A very simple ad. But these are very effective. I know they're effective because I know the owner does very, very, very well with this product. They get a ton of traffic. These are highly effective ads, and you wouldn't think so necessarily by looking at them. They're kind of ugly, but they're also very simple and eye-catching. So, this one I've seen around forever.
Dustin, here's an interesting question. Do these spy tools show how much people are paying to advertise the ads, like SpyFu on PPC ads?
Yeah, they give you some of that data. It's not exact, like SpyFu. SpyFu will show you that kind of stuff around how much they're spending on PPC. But I know that data can be wildly different. I used SpyFu in my early consulting days. SpyFu was around. And SpyFu was around, and I used PPC data, like what a competitor or what I thought the consulting client was using in PPC data, and I mentioned it in a sales call with them, and I said, well, no, that's not true. We're not spending that much. It was wildly off what they were actually spending. So you got to take these tools with a grain of salt in some cases. They're very, very useful for getting a head start on creatives, but you can't rely on them solely. If you do, you're gonna get burned. So I just love these ads here. These are just really effective ads. Look how simple that is. You'll see why this is a good ad in just a second. So let's get back to this here. Okay, so those are tools that will help you get a head start on your ads. Why don't we take a look at what makes a good banner ad? And I've written about this a few times on the Offer Vault blog, so I just figured I'd use these examples with you guys. Okay. Thought I was being clever with this little featured image, made it look sort of like a banner. This is an example of a type of banner I would create because it's so simple and extremely stark contrasting colors with a button. That's supposed to be a button. It doesn't really look like it. It's a crude button, but it's also a call to action, right? And you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, so I'm going to make the font a little bit bigger here. Okay, tip number 1, be insane. All right, this ad right here is absolutely ridiculous. Look at this guy. He is a freak of nature. First of all, nobody should ever be that big. It can't be good for your health. Second of all, that is going to get people's attention, and I know it did because that turned this merchant, Force Factor, from an online-only merchant to a global supplement company. That made these, I don't know if they're billionaires yet, but they're on their way, right? These ads absolutely exploded this company's sales. I know that for a fact, right? And it's because they did crazy things like this with their banner ads. How are you not going to look at this picture, right? And immediately, even if you're not into this niche, some people are going to click on that because they just want to see the weird stuff. Now, that's not always a good thing to do, right? Because you get some false clicks. So I'm not sure that they found that this banner ad was the most effective, but it certainly got a lot of click-through rates, right? That's the first thing you want to try to improve on your banner ads is the click-through rates. Okay, so being insane will get attention and draw clicks. That's the point of this ad. Okay, less is more. Now, I don't actually love these ads, but they're a good example of minimalist design. They have a call to action. I don't know if you can see that in the button. It's just a little button that says click here, and that's pretty much all that's on the page, right? I don't like their headline, if you could call it that. But, this may actually resonate with their target market. I don't know. I do love how minimal this is. Look how big this ad is with all this white space. It draws a lot of attention to the middle here. Right? White space can be a powerful design component. I'm minimalist 100%.
Hey, Dustin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what's up, Steve?
Hey, one thing about that is, these can work really well, but like you even said it, targeting with ads like that is absolutely the most crucial thing in the world. Because if you're targeting it to people like that know about that, that's when they see these types of ads and they know instantly, what it is and if they want it. So
right,
you can get a lower CPR, but you're gonna have a higher conversion rate.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's all the data will tell you on the back end, right? The creative is just sort of the first step. The data will tell you whether or not it's a good ad. So carrying on here, thanks, Steve. That was a good comment. This is an example of what not to do. Right? And I don't know why real estate agents do this so often. Now, this ad isn't necessarily terrible, but this ad, I hate these ads. I don't know if they're effective or not, but in my opinion, from a design perspective, I think it's awful. Right? I have no idea what to look at right here. Is there a call to action, or what is this? Am I supposed to click something here, or am I just supposed to use a telephone number? Am I supposed to do anything at all? What is this? I have no idea. Right? So it's the worst ad in the world, in my opinion. This one right here, the worst ad ever. Okay? So that's an example of what not to do. Cluttered, complicated, confusing. High contrast colors. I mentioned this just a second ago. Jimmy John's does this extremely well. Look at how high contrast is. It doesn't get any more contrast than white on black or black on white. Right? Bright red is a very common contrast color. Bright yellow. Just bright colors on top of bold dark colors. Okay? It's very easy to see this. Right? If you were on a website, this would stand out immediately if it was in the sidebar. Tip 4, bold call to action buttons. Gamefly does this pretty well. Check out this Start Now button. Try It Free button. They're huge and impossible to miss. And Truth About Abs does this one better than anybody I've ever seen. The blue underline link call to action. Okay. It looks like it's a hyperlink. It's not, because it's a banner ad. It's just an image, but it looks like a link. And we know from data from the beginning of the internet that people click on blue links. It's just a fact. It's still to this day, even though a lot of sites don't even use blue links anymore, it's still a huge factor. So I like these ads. These are the type of ads I create to test against high contrast ads. I think these are very, very effective. Okay, so those are my first tips on banner ads. We'll take a look at another one here. We don't have to go through all of them. You guys will have this presentation, so you can look at this on your own time. There's another. See how minimalist this banner ad is? Well, it's not even really a banner ad. It's just a featured image, but it's minimalist with stark contrast. Right? And that's, you can literally do this with your banner ads and just have, you know, your headline and a button with a call to action. You can do that with your banner ads and test them. Okay, another example of high contrast. Here's some more bad ads. I don't know what it is about the automotive industry and the real estate industry, but they tend to have bad ads.
And, Dustin, just a quick interjection here.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
just thinking to myself, you know, someone watching this webinar might be looking and going, okay, well, that's great, but how do I actually create this? Like, how do I actually make the banner? And so I just wanted to interject and it almost just let people know that, you know, you might not have Photoshop skills or Microsoft Paint skills or whatever program you're using, but there are programs available online, like Dustin's pulling up things, and you can always outsource this. I mean, you can go to a site like Fiverr.com and you can get a banner made for $5, you know, from somebody who wants to do it for you that same day. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there in case anyone's thinking that as they're watching this, because that's one of the things that shouldn't stop you, right? And it's something
Right.
that stops a lot of people, and they say, well, I don't know how to do this. I don't have Photoshop. I don't know this. I don't know that. Or, yeah, sure, I can get GIMP, which is a free, you know, Photoshop-like program, but I just wouldn't even know where to click. Like, you don't have to.
Right.
Just outsource it. Don't even waste your time. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in there as you're going through things.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really important to understand is that it could be outsourced if it's the worst thing in the world for you to do. You can use Photoshop. If you have any Photoshop skills at all, this is a breeze. If you have no Photoshop skills, it doesn't matter because the ads don't have to be difficult, right? So you don't even need Photoshop, right? Photoshop is a fantastic tool, don't get me wrong. It's my favorite image editing tool out there, but it is complicated. It does have a learning curve to it, right? And it's only, I say it's complicated, but it's only complicated when you don't know how to use it. If you have somebody walk through the tools you need and how to use them, it's surprisingly easy. But Photoshop used to be extremely expensive. You can get it for like $20 a month now, and on a month-to-month basis. So you're only paying, you know, if you want to create some banners for a campaign, get it for a month and create as many banners as you can, test them all, and then, you know, you can cancel the account. You don't even need it. Pixlr is a free alternative to Photoshop. And all you do is go to Pixlr.com and click on Pixlr Editor. This is one of the best Photoshop alternatives I've seen. Create new image, 728 by 90 is a popular banner size. The long, skinny ones that are often at the top of the page, right? So you can come in here and you can create banners. You're going to have to learn what these things do, but it's not complicated. You know, it takes a little. They've got free training. So, you know, I can come in here and create a banner pretty darn easy. Here's the text tool. I'm going to change the color to white.
It's crazy how similar that sidebar is to Photoshop.
Well, yeah, they did that on purpose. Yeah, they want to attract that Photoshop crowd.
So Dustin, let's say somebody just wants, and this is a question in the queue, somebody just wants to get, a banner made with certain pictures and whatnot, and they want to add the text themselves. What type of image file do you think they should get? Should it be a JPEG, a GIF? Should it be a PNG file? What should it be?
I tend to stick with JPEGs because you can control the quality of them. And if you're just doing text with a very simple button, you can optimize the size of that JPEG very easily. The smaller the size of the file, the faster it's going to load, the lower amount of memory it's going to take up on the server. It's an optimized image when you make it small. Here's how you do that. Okay, so I want to save. Check out my banner here. I want the JPEG format. Good for most photos. We can reduce the quality pretty drastically, and it's going to look very similar. Right? I don't know how low we can go with this. When we do that and see what it looks like. Image saved. Okay, but lowering the quality of your JPEG is going to increase the load speed of that on the website that it's displaying on. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of other factors that go into what makes a banner ad load quickly, but that is one small factor, right? So you can see that the quality is not terrible. It's not the best, but it's not terrible. It's not super crisp, but that's good enough for this banner, and that's a very, very small image file. Right? That's something to note in when creating your banner ads. Now, not everybody's going to do banner advertising, right? That may not appeal to you. The Photoshop thing may be a big turnoff. Maybe you just want to stick with the traditional text ad, and that's okay. Text ads require a little bit more copywriting, where banner ads and image-based ads tend to combine your demographics and your psychographics together. Text ads, it's harder to see the psychographic influence, right? Because it's harder to see the demographic influence because you don't see the person, right? You don't see that white female age 30 to 50 on the banner ad, right? So that's a little bit of a challenge with your text ads. So I came up with a couple formulas for you guys to try it. Now remember, there's multiple types of text ads. Right? The very most common, obviously, is PPC, right? And that's one that a lot of people try. PPC is a very limiting text ad form because you can only work with so many characters, right? So because of that, I came up with a really simple formula. I can't even say that I came up with a mentor of mine told me this formula ages ago because I was freaking out about creating PPC ads. And he said, it's not that difficult. Don't get yourself worked up. Here's the formula. The formula is, here's what I've got, here's why it's great, and here's what I want you to do next. So the example of that in practice is best wrinkle cream, zap wrinkles in minutes, click here for deal. Click here for more, click here for free shipping. That probably won't fit in there in PPC, but the point is you can create ads this simple and have success. Right? Now you want to test it against everything. You want to split test it all the time. You're never done split testing. It's very important when it comes to creatives. But you don't have to make it such a complicated thing. It doesn't have to be a scary thing, is my point. Right? Formula number 2. Now this one isn't going to always work with PPC. In fact, rarely is it going to work with PPC. It's going to work more with newsfeed type ads, and especially it could even work with PPV ads. Although I'd like to see those a little bit simpler. Here's an example of a great newsfeed ad I saw recently. The formula is who we are, what people are saying, and what to do next. The reason why this is great is because it gets customer testimonials in front of people's eyeballs, and testimonials are an extremely useful sales tool. All right, so I saw this on a newsfeed ad recently. It was in Fusionsoft Partner Program. That was the Who We Are section, and then you can see the testimonial here. And then at the bottom it said find out more. Well, why don't I read it in case somebody's listening to this at this time. So, testimonial says, Infusionsoft literally changed the scope of my business as an agency partner. This was the best business decision I've made in a long time. And then name the customer on it. And that's a really powerful sales tool. If I'm somebody that's sort of interested in this kind of thing, right, first of all, they have to mind their targeting and their demographics and all that to know that they're advertising to the right person. But if I'm the right person, that could be a very interesting offer to me. You know, maybe this is something that's going to take my business to the next level. I'm going to click on this ad.
So, Dustin, I love these templates because templates are what gives you the ability to be super creative. When you're sitting there with a blank page and you're just trying to come up with anything, it can be really hard to come up with anything. But once you have this little formula, your brain can just go crazy with ideas. So I love that you're giving this to people. I want to step back for a second to banners because we have a really great question in the queue. And if you're advertising with banners, and I know this is an issue we've all asked ourselves too, and you pick a campaign in the CPA network and you want to run some banners, starting out, do you have to be concerned about creating banner ads, or can you just promote the ads that are already done in the network?
Oh, that's a great question. Awesome question. Thank you. So, yeah, that's a big thing with people is, if they're going to use display kind of advertising, they don't really want to create the displays. They just want to use the ones that are in the network. That's totally possible. And I suggest that you test them. I suggest you test everything. That is the key to this business. Testing. Test. Right? But, and this is a really big but right here, most of the time those creatives, in my experience, are not effective. They just don't work. And that's not always true. There's no hard and fast rule that's always the case, but that's just been my experience. So use those ads, but you want to split test them. You want to split test them against themselves. If they have more than one version, you want to split test them against your own version. Make yourself a crappy banner in Pixlr and test it against those. You might be surprised.
Yeah, and I'll throw something in here. A few reasons not to do it and a few reasons to do it. Obviously one reason to use the stock banners from the ad network, from the affiliate network or the CPA network, is that you can get going fast. You're not stopping yourself and saying, well, wait, first I need to take some time and create this banner. So I would say that, there's a little positive side to that. The other thing is, Dustin gave you the basic ideas of what you should look at in terms of creating banners. Well, that applies to banners that are already created, and you can look at the network banners and say, okay, well, is this high contract? Is this really busy? Does this have a nice call to action? And if it does, maybe it will work. The other thing I'll say is, because it's out there to basically the public and the affiliate that wants to pick it up, those banners could get very saturated very quickly. And so, yeah, they might be effective initially, but then if you're doing the targeting right and you're showing them to the right people, 10 other people, 100 other people might be doing the same thing. And then it's not going to be so effective after they've seen that same banner 20 different times or 100 different times, whatever the case may be. So those are just some things to look at. And the other thing in terms of what Dustin just said, which is, go into Pixlr and just create a crappy ad. Believe it or not, some of the best response we've had in mobile banners, in mobile advertising, has been very plain Jane, two-tone banner with just a background in one color and the text in a contrast color in a font that looks like handwriting and saying something very basic, like on mobile, you have a new message, right? And those work phenomenally well. And they're so simple and ugly. So don't think that you need something crazy. And in fact, you don't need something crazy. You want something as simple as possible to test. And you'll see quickly what's working and what isn't.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The other thing to remember with, especially display ads, but with all ad types, is that you're going to have ad blindness eventually. You're going to have ad burnout. Your ads will slowly become ineffective over time. It's just a fact of the game. It happens to everybody. So if you're going to create ads, which if you're going to do affiliate marketing, you're going to have to do, get comfortable with this and do it all the time, right? Because when you create a campaign, you're going to always be testing until you find a winner. And even when you have a winner, I hope that you continue to test because you can improve on that winner. And then eventually that winner is going to slow down in effectiveness, right? So you're going to have to come up with another winner. Hey, Steve.
Yeah, I want to jump in here and say, especially if you've optimized the campaign to a small pool of traffic that converts, so like a couple of placements or whatever, the more you've optimized the campaign, the faster the burnout's going to happen. So you're going to really need to, like you said, make sure you're always testing. Even if you have something that works, it's going to stop working at some point as you optimize the campaign.
Oh, hi, Mason. What's going on?
Hey.
Didn't know you were here.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good tips, man.
Mason's very sneaky like that.
Yeah, he is. There you are, Steve. Hey, I want to ask you, man. You've got a ton of display experience, don't you?
Yeah.
Or image-based ad experience.
Yep.
What's your 2 cents on this whole conversation here?
Well, like the burnout is going to happen. I think, and I've talked about it in the forum. I mean, there's some ads that'll work for a long time, and there's just some that have, a lower life cycle. I think being creative, I think it's all about angles, honestly. And one thing you probably noticed about me in my marketing is that, I like to use the same ad with different angles sometimes and just change some creatives in the ad or a picture here or there or just some of the text. You can use different variations of an ad in the same vertical with different angles, and just changing a few things around here and there. But yeah, the ad burnout part, man, it sucks because all of a sudden you're making a lot of money on a campaign and it just slowly starts to dwindle lower and lower and lower, and you know it's coming, so you have to be ahead of the curve.
Yeah, you really do. Like I've seen campaigns go from like $600 a day in profit to like losing $300 fairly quickly because
and it can happen. It can almost happen overnight. That's why.
Yeah, I've seen it happen in one day. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Exactly. Or the other thing is people can use the spy tools and see what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you went from having zero competition to having a ton of competition. And that changes the game too. So
that's what we were doing. We were running the ads that other people had already burned out. And then so we got in on the tail end of it, so that's why it burned out.
Right.
Nice.
That's a great reason why just swiping ads isn't a great idea. Because you could be pulling ads that other people have used
as a marketer, you have to always put in your own 2 cents. Yeah. Just
absolutely.
Copying what other people are doing, it doesn't make you a marketer. That makes, it's smart sometimes to get started, but you have to put your own. I don't want to use the word flair for my favorite movie here, but you have to put some of your own flair on there also, and make it yours.
Some flair, huh? Sparkle fingers.
Yeah. Yep. Name the movie. Anyway, we had
all right.
Track.
So that was a good spirited debate on banners and display advertising. Let's keep going on here with bonus newsfeed ads. Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up here, or the presentation pretty soon, guys. So if you've got questions, start entering them into the box now, and we can start getting to everybody. But let's talk about newsfeed ads. I love this ad type. The reason I love it is because it's mobile and it's web, and it's a beautiful mix of text and banner ad, or text and image-based ad, not necessarily banner, but image-based. Right? You can combine demographic and psychographic targeting all into one ad, one pretty little ad. I love these things, and they're picking up speed as we speak. A lot of people are using these types of ads now because of the targeting that's available in Facebook is incredible, and the mobile aspect. So it's a really cool ad type. Highly suggest you keep an eye out for ads that are going through your news feed, see what other people are doing, try to figure out if it's an affiliate or not. And, just watch this stuff, right? So let me click this ad here, or this link here, to show you some examples of newsfeed ads that I liked lately. What's going on here, guy? Here we go. I just wrote about this recently. You saw this supplement affiliate. This was the ad with our ripped dude. And this was the landing page that it went to. Mental Life and Health. All right, there's the headline. Here's another part of the landing page. You scroll down, you get to the offer at the bottom. Here's the offer. So this was definitely an affiliate, right? And I've seen a variation of this ad running for a couple of weeks now. So whoever's running this is making some money, or they're losing a bunch of money trying to test it. But it's very likely they're making money. Okay, so that was one affiliate. Here's an auto insurance affiliate. Here's the ad. Lower my bills auto insurance. All right, so that's who they are. Here's why they're great. And here is a nice little connection with the market, right? A check. I get to cash this check when I change my auto insurance. Okay, and here's the Infusionsoft ad that I was telling you guys about. Okay. I just love these ad types. I just think they're awesome. All right, so there's some examples. And again, you'll have a link to this in the presentation. Everybody will get a copy of this so you can check this stuff out. But let me just go back to the slideshow.
Dustin, what I find interesting in your post there is that you seem to be placing screenshots from your phone, and I'm curious as to whether that's because you're just browsing your Facebook on your iPhone and you see stuff and you capture it, or if these ads are specifically being targeted on mobile.
Some of them are, some of them aren't. I know for a fact the Infusionsoft ad and the supplement affiliate ad I've seen on both platforms, and the ad looked exactly the same. So I was showing this from my phone just because I was browsing Facebook from my phone, and I thought it was pretty cool to see these mobile ads on my phone. But that's the power of the newsfeed ad, right? It's because it can be in both places and look the same. I just think that's a really powerful combination, right? Old school mobile advertising thought was, okay, well, I'm going to create some banner ads or image-based ads, but they're going to be really tiny, right? So the format's going to be different. This is just a matter of dynamic sizing, right? The ad doesn't really change at all. So I just really like that. I don't know how else to say it. I love this ad type. But I forgot what I was going to say. What other questions do you guys have for me? Do you have any questions on the newsfeed ads? Do you guys want to chime in on the newsfeed ads? What do you think of those?
So Bob is asking, newsfeed meaning it shows up on Facebook newsfeed only?
Yes, yeah, it's an ad right in my newsfeed. So when I'm scrolling through and seeing pictures of babies and weddings from all my friends, I also see these ads in the newsfeed. It's a direct-to-newsfeed ad.
So here's a question for you, Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
With all the other ad types that we're talking about, and we didn't really get a chance to discuss landing pages yet, and if Steve's still on, we'll grab him for that. I'm not sure if he's still with us right now. But, we talked about text ads for PPC, banner ads, which you can also do with PPC or media buying. And now you've got this really very different animal here. And I think, and I'm not sure because I don't do a lot of advertising on Facebook, but you kind of need to have some things set up to do this. You can't just have, your affiliate link. I'm pretty sure you need to set up a page on Facebook and update that page and then promote one of your postings. Is that right?
No, that is not always true. Like this supplement affiliate, I think you do have to have a page, yes. This supplement affiliate, this brought me to their website when I clicked on it from the web.
Interesting.
Like this brought me directly to their web page, and it wasn't a page inside of Facebook.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on there technology-wise, but yeah, you're right. It is a different animal. You're going to have to do your own research on that and on how to make it happen, but it's really not much different than any other advertising source, right? You've got an ad, it goes to a page, and then you make an offer. Right? Whether that offer is to have somebody opt in or you click over to a merchant site and they make a purchase, it's all the same in different formats.
Great. So, not seeing any more questions in the queue. I just want to bring up, I don't think Steve is with us at the moment, but I just want to bring up just a few other ad formats. And really, I mean, the important thing that you should get from this, and we do have some questions popping in, the important thing that you should get from this is the research portion of it, is the psychographics, is the demographics, is it figuring out who your customer is, and what's going to catch their attention, right? What's going to get your target audience to click, right? Last week it was, how do we know where my market is and where to target and where I, scrape links and which keywords I use. And today it's a step, it's the next step in the research, which is, who is this person really that I'm talking to? What do they really want? What am I going to give them?
Right.
You almost need to do these together. And so what I want to say is, the ad type and how much text you can put and whether you can put a picture or not, or whether it's all picture, it doesn't matter. You'll get your specs from the ad network, and they'll tell you need to create it this size, it needs to be this size banner, or you have a page this big to advertise on. The principles are still the same. So I wanted to bring that up. And in terms of PPV, which we talked about a lot last week with Mason, actually, it's a landing page, right? You get a page that pops up, and you're going to do the same thing. You're going to have just a little bit of text, maybe a lot of white space, some contrast to grab people's attention, an image that grabs your target market's attention, a call to action that they're going to want to click on, just things that catch their attention. So you almost want to think of it like a big banner, okay? So,
Right.
Or a big text ad. And so I just wanted to point that out. And then we do have a question in the queue from Bob, and he says, I see on Facebook that they'll insert a post that you might like. Is this a newsfeed ad?
A suggested post, or yeah, sometimes. I don't think all the time. When you see a sponsored post, that's a newsfeed ad, right? It has to say the word sponsored on it. Here, let's see. See how it says sponsored right here?
Yeah.
Sponsored.
And he says, yes, suggested.
Okay. So then, yeah, that's a newsfeed ad. Oh, suggested post. Yeah, that's right. Suggested post is above it.
Yep, there
And sometimes, the other thing that makes these things so powerful is that sometimes you'll have a friend that's already liked this ad or this page. So there's built-in social reinforcement, right? I think I had somebody that liked this ad up here. Oh, you can't see it. But I had a couple of friends that had liked this ad. I don't know. I just kind of laughed because I know these guys, and they don't know what affiliate marketing is. So they just liked an ad for an affiliate marketer just based on the ad, They just thought the ad was that good. They liked it. But that's great.
All right, so I'm not seeing any more questions at this time, but I've got to say that this was an awesome webinar because, I mean, my personal favorite part is the templates, honestly, is just knowing what. I actually took a screenshot when you showed the text ad templates. I was like, oh, I can really use that. Because really, I mean, the whole thing about being a successful affiliate is creativity. You want to think outside of the box, and as funny as it may seem to think outside of the box, sometimes you need a template. You need something to plug into. And so I just love that. It's like, go crazy, but here's your limitations that aren't limitations, but are going to help you succeed with your out of the box thinking. So,
right. That's the thing. That's the thing with these templates is that they don't have to just be text ads. You can use these templates on anything. You can use them on your landing page. You can use it on your banner page, or on your banner ad, excuse me. It doesn't have to just be a text ad. I was just giving you examples because it's easy to translate, especially formula number 1. It's easy to translate that into a text ad. Right? But it doesn't have to be that way. Right? You can use that for anything.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a copywriting formula.
Right. And actually for number 2, your second formula there, who we are, what people are saying, what to do next. I'm actually reading a book called Power Stories by Valerie Koo, and she is a writing coach for businesses. And she, as the name may suggest, she's all about writing stories and different types of stories. And actually the chapter that I just read is all about the customer story and how to incorporate it in your marketing and in your ads, and also in your newsletters, and also in your forums, and pretty much everywhere else. So that's a really powerful formula there.
Cool. Very cool. So yeah, do you guys have any of the coaches have any other comments on this stuff? Mason, Steve?
So unfortunately, the other coaches had to drop off just a couple of minutes ago.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They did, yeah. But like I said, this was a great presentation. Dustin, I want to thank you so much for your time and making yourself available for this. I mean, the people in this course are just, I keep saying this, but they're so lucky to have people like you and the other coaches here teaching them. If you guys come up with questions afterwards, you know where to go on the forum. Well, we've got the forum section. Just go right into the private Jumpstart section and ask away. Ask away, make comments, have conversation. You can post new threads and let us know what you're trying in a more private setting. If you want, you can even start case studies in the private Jumpstart forum if you don't want them, out there for everyone to see. I mean, I don't recommend that because you're not going to, make money doing that. You want to, or not that you're not going to make money doing that, but you're not going to be part of the competition by doing that. But what you can do is, in a more private setting, work on a campaign and really work through a lot of the things that we're showing you. So I highly recommend doing that, learning the research, trying it out. You're going to get a lot of questions when you take action, and we're going to love answering those questions for you because we're going to know that you're taking action. So with that, Dustin, do you have any final words of wisdom for everyone?
I think you said it pretty well. It's the next step is to do it and take action, but also interact in the forum. It's the best place for you. All right? You're going to get expert advice, and you're going to learn by doing it at the same time. It doesn't get any better than that. So that's it. That's it for me.
Exactly. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here, for your questions, for your attention, and thank you again, Dustin, and thank you to the other coaches who had to drop off. And we will see you guys on the forum, and we'll see you in next week's installation of the Jumpstart. And actually, let me give you a little heads up on what's coming next. And the next module that we're doing is we're actually going to show you how to set up on the ad network. How to set up on the ad network. So we're really getting into the meat and potatoes here, and we're going to take all this research that we've done, all this, it's almost like theory, and we're going to put it into action. So if there's ever been a good time to take action, it's right now after this webinar. Grab yourself a CPA offer, do some research, do the market research, do the keyword research, do the demographics and psychographics research, and meet us here next week, and we're going to show you how to get moving and get started. So thank you, everybody, once again, and have a fantastic night. Bye, everyone.
Take care.